Hello, and welcome back to another Snapshot review with me, Surface Fusion. Today, we've got Snapshot 21W05A, and we're going to go over it. But before we get started, I have a goal for this series. I want to make this the most disliked Snapshot review series in history. The most dislikes I can find on a Snapshot review is like 500 some. It's one of Exuma's. I don't know why. I think it's the one where they introduced bundles. I don't think people were super happy with those. But I think we can do better. I think we can make this series the most disliked Snapshot review series in history. So, before we get started, leave a dislike on this video. And then you can keep watching it. Yeah. Don't continue watching if you haven't disliked it. Just dislike it right now. All you gotta do is click on it. Alright, yeah. Anyways, proceeding. We got a lot to talk about today, if you can't tell. So yeah, here's all the blocks that have been added in this newest snapshot. Quite a few, actually. Azaleas, flowering azaleas, moss blocks, big drip leaf, small drip leaf, glowberries, spore blossoms, rooted dirt, and hanging roots. So, just to get an idea of what all this looks like, I've put together this. So you can see here, we've got the glowberry vines, the cave vines as they're called. We've got azaleas. Oh wait, no, these are the azaleas. These are the drip spore blossom. That makes sense, because they're dropping spores all over everything. So yeah, let's go through these things one by one and take a look at them. So these azaleas are going to be great decoratively. You can place these azalea bushes pretty much anywhere. You've got the normal variant, and you got the normal variant and the flowery variant, and the leaves, which are kind of unique. They have a nice contrast to the traditional oak leaf. And then you've got the flowering leaves. And these are going to be great in builds for placing like bushes along the side of a house. You know, you line these up, you got a nice looking little bush. And there you go. There's a sort of little ruin, overgrown kind of ruin thing. I don't know. It kind of looks pretty. Wow, look at that lightning strike over there. But yeah, this would look nice in some kind of a little village or something or other. It's very cool. Very quaint. I quite like it. Now these bushes you can obtain just by punching them. The leaves, I believe you have to use shears. Yeah. And you can get both of them. Up next we have the moss block. This thing looks very nice. It's basically like a 4 or a 6-sided grass block. You can get it just by punching it. Then there's this moss carpet that you can actually put on top of things. And this stuff seems to work just like carpet. You can just, you can stack it up as you do with carpet. But it's basically like a kind of grassy color, a mossy color. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of this stuff around. So up next we have the drip leaf. So the big drip leaf, you place it down, it looks like that. And you bone meal it and it grows. And you may remember the functionality of the drip leaf is that you can stand on it, but over time it falls down. So you can stand on it like this, and it falls down over time, and then after a little bit it'll reset itself, just like so. You can actually avoid this by jumping. If you jump on it, it won't reset, and if you crouch on it, it also won't do anything. Now I want to try. Yeah, you can actually pillar up. If you have bone meal, you can use this stuff to pillar up, and then you can get back down quickly. So it's a little bit of a dangerous way to do it. Now if you just punch this out, you get a couple of them back. And so that's the big drip leaf. The small drip leaf, you'll notice, you can't really plant it anywhere. You're only able to plant it on clay or underwater. So that looks pretty nice. It grows up out of the water. Another underwater plant. And then if you bone meal it, it turns into a big Dripleaf. So like that. You can plant the big Dripleaf pretty much anywhere. So underwater, or on grass or on stone. But the small Dripleaf can only be planted underwater and on clay. And once you get a lot of these things around, it starts looking pretty nice. Now to get the small Dripleaf, you actually have to use shears, I believe. Yeah, and then you can get the small Dripleaf. But for the big ones, you can just kind of punch them. Up next, we have a couple more new plants. We have these Spore Blossom, which you can place on the bottom of solid blocks. You can't place it on leaves, but you can place it on, stuff like that. And we have the Glow Berries, which create these cave vines. You can make the cave vines by placing the glow berries, and then in order to get the glow berries to show up, you can bone meal it. There's a random chance of those growing on there, but also you can bone meal it and it'll make some berries, and yeah, then you can harvest those berries with a right click, just like a berry bush, and you can eat these. Alright, so let's take a look at how much hunger these guys give you. I'm at 3 right now, and they do 1 little food thing, so I believe that's 2 hunger points actually. And finally we have the rooted dirt and the hanging roots. So these things are pretty nice for decoration. I really like the way that these look, and these I assume will spawn on the bottom side of dirt that overhangs like this, and there'll be hanging roots sticking out of the bottom of them, and it kind of just gives a little bit of ambiance. It kind of looks like there's some roots hanging down from up above, and all around I think it's a great look. These little roots kind of intertwined in the dirt. So all around, a lot of great stuff for those of you out there who like doing some landscaping. All of this is going to spawn underground, but you'll be able to bring it up above ground and place it around like that. So another new change is that drowns will no longer spawn, or will no longer drop gold, but instead will occasionally drop some copper. They've also changed the name of some of the copper blocks, so they've gone to copper, exposed copper, weathered copper, and oxidized copper. And you can now use the stone cutter to get yourself some copper stairs. Another interesting thing is that powdered snow can now be pushed by pistons, which means you can do weird stuff like this. If you ever feel like you need to let it go over at your castle, but you don't have any way to reach it, you can stick on a pair of leather boots, and you can press this button a bunch of times. I haven't actually tested this. It's not working. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. So the most compact and secure drawbridge, because you have to have leather boots to cross this. If I don't have leather boots on, I just sink right through it. So, kind of an interesting idea. I'm not gonna lie. The way this works is actually pretty simple. The dispenser over there places the snow, signal goes around, the piston pushes the snow, and then underneath we just have an item filter that filters out the buckets, so that this thing doesn't ever dispense buckets. And that's really just it. You could connect this up to a clock to make it work automatically, and then you could even have over on the other side some kind of a destroying system, although I don't know how you'd get rid of all the ones in the middle. You'd have to kind of do something interesting with those. But it's a very interesting way to create blocks from nowhere. Previously, if you wanted to do something like this, you have to store all these blocks back in here somehow. That could be like as a stack of sand or something. Well, obviously you can't make a bridge out of sand. So, yeah, this is a pretty new mechanic, and I can see people having a lot of fun with this. There have also been some changes to the Sculk sensor frequencies. I'm not going to go over all those because, I mean, it's pretty boring. If you're interested in it, here's the chart of things that they added, and you can look that up for yourself if you're making stuff with these. And at some point, I want to do a video specifically on these, but we'll get to that at some point in the future, hopefully. I'm still a little bit confused by them, and I have spent some time playing around with them, and I haven't really made a lot of progress in learning how they work. So, I mean, I know how they work, but learning how to use them in some kind of an interesting way is worthwhile. So, look forward to that in the future. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. But please make sure that you dislike this video. Our goal for this first video is 50 dislikes. I got more than 50 views on my last video, so if every person who watches this dislikes it, we can get to 50. It's not that hard. All you gotta do is click the dislike button. So do that. And yeah, hope you have a lovely day. See you at the next snapshot. Take care.